first time, because like in the past when I've gone to these things, I've done mono magic or mono magic and versus system. But I'm really looking forward to like experience the whole thing. And next weekend Origins, I know if you play in the opens, you get a free badge for that day.
It's good news.
Yeah, it's a big deal. You just go out to the side, like in the registration hall, you can sign up for the open, and that's one of your registration lines. It's pretty cool. And I will be doing that.
Yep, I am.
You're commentating next week as
Nope,
well?
I'm going to play in one of the opens. I'm not sure which one. I'm trying to decide if I want to play in the standard or in the legacy. Well, I'm trying to decide because I don't really like where I'm at with legacy right now.
Oh, okay.
And I do like where I'm at with standard right now. But I might be revisiting that given that there is a new target with which the guns should be trained.
Yeah. I think standard formats like this are going to be very interesting in the next couple weeks.
I agree.
I thought the post Pro Tour Paris metagame last year with Callblade, alright, like Callblade dominated the Pro Tour.
Yep.
Can something beat it? As it turns out, the answer was no. But like that's an interesting question to try and find out.
Yeah. Well, I actually think that the Blumanji deck that was started by Lawrence Swayze, that that deck, up until the point where Dismember was printed, it handily beated Callblade. I mean, to a point where it was kind of absurd. And then once Dismember was printed, it went down to a 55-45. Yeah. And as Patrick Chapin said, why get a 55-45 edge against Callblade when the mirror is 70-30?
Yeah.
And
I disagree with the blue green Fauna Shaman deck. I played that deck in the first Star City Games Invitational, and I thought that deck was terrible. I never played that. I played it for a couple weeks and it sounded like it was really fun, it worked really well. And then at the Invitational, I just played it and like it was.
It was not good for the Invitational though. The time had passed.
Yeah.
I mean, like by that, Dismember was out.
No. The previous one, the one that one that Gerry Thompson.
Okay.
won,
Okay. I would make a claim though, like, so for example, I took Larry's deck and updated it so that it had Spellskite's main and some other stuff, and with that build, we played it in 4 tournaments. Larry won 1. One guy playing it never before got in the finals. The next day there was a PTQ, only 2 of us playing it, and one of the guys got to the finals and I got to the quarters, or not the quarters, the semis.
Yeah.
And that was like 4 places, 4 top 8s.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It was pretty handy.
That's one thing that's great about Magic is different people can have absolutely different results, doing the same thing basically. It might be a stylistic thing.
I think it might have been that you had maybe the list that hadn't been changed yet.
Okay.
Because I think you needed to have the multiple Spellskites in the main deck.
Yeah, I feel like this was even like pre-Callblade.
Right.
But like I just hated the deck.
That it wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it was. It wasn't quite ready yet. There's moments like because it wasn't good enough. Though Larry was doing well with it, I don't think it was good enough.
Yeah, I actually did take the list off of one random open. It happened like a month or so before the Invitational.
And then Larry did well with it for the second time in the SCG Boston, and he and I started talking about it, and I think it still wasn't actually good until the next set came out. But then when the set after that came out, it got bad. But back to the match. Here's our finals. Gerry Thompson opens. He's got Dismember, Geist of St. Traft ×2, Vapor Snag, Glacial Fortress. His opponent has a hard cast, Gitaxian Probe, says go. Brian is at 5 and Gerry's at 6.
Magic cards to start the match. That means 2 mulligans for Brian, 1 for Gerry. Gerry's hand, not exciting. You don't want the cantrips to kind of like sculpt your hand. So Gerry's at the mercy of his deck. Like for example, he needs a 3rd land.
Snapcaster for the probe. What you got? An island.
Perfect.
Hello, Geist. And Geist does have a Dismember as a friend in the hand of Gerry Thompson.
Yeah, and a Vapor Snag, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Brian better come up with two 2 copies of Geist of St. Traft pretty quickly. Like I said, it's all about the Geist advantage. So if you look at it from that standpoint,
for life.
Yeah, he needs to play the land first to play around Mana Leak.
Vapor Snag.
A reasonable play, but Brian's going to take a ton of damage in the meantime.
Take 6. As long as Gerry doesn't lay the other Geist, he's doing pretty good.
I do not think Gerry will make that play. I have faith in you, Gerry.
Moreland.
That'd be crazy.
What's better than 1 Geist? 2 Geists.
Oh. So, I have a friend from Arizona. He mostly off again, but he's on again, off again. He had probably been away from the game for about 3 years, and he decided, I'm bored. I want to play an FNM. We gave him a deck. Mana Leak.
Wow.
Restoration Angel.
Mana Leak Angel Snag?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Game over. I don't see Brian winning this one. Anyway, he had never seen a Planeswalker before. He's like, and the Planeswalker in question was a Johnny Vengeant. So he's like, this card's really good. I'm gonna get 2 of them to lock down 2 lands. That did not work out too well for him.
Nope. No, I definitely have found in Magic Online so many times someone will green Sun Zenith for 4 and get their 2nd Thrun and then be like, what happened? Like,
oh, jeez.
Like, well, I guess you didn't really realize what was going to happen. Thank you. Snapcaster is Mana Leaked. Brian is going to want to lay a Geist now.
5, and also he's going to have to contend with the 2nd Geist.
Yep.
And Brian doesn't have the 1st Geist, let alone the 2nd Geist.
I don't think he has it.
No, me neither.
Oh, there we go, on tap.
We're in chump blocking Angel mode. Not a good mode to be in.
I guess especially since Gerry has a Snag in hand.
Oh yeah, that just snagging Angels. Not.
Take 3, Brian Eason. Take 1, Gerry Thompson.
I've won a game where I Vapor Snagged an Angel, but it's not an Angel token, but not a good place to be.
And a new Angel. And I don't know what you can do.
I don't think I've ever won a game where I've chump blocked an Angel token.
I have once, but it was a lot of other good things happening.
Yeah.
And it was late in the game. Late in the game. Gerry quickly takes down.
I should say blocking
the
Angel token and not blocking the Geist of St. Traft.
Right.
Yeah, that's so
okay.
Gerry, phase 1.
Right.
Geist advantage.
Now, Brian Eason has been defeating everyone that has been playing this deck so far in this top 8. This is his 3rd time round to try to fight it. So, here is the question. For those of you who have been watching at home, I'm Adrian Sullivan with Adam Prozac, and the way this works, for our final giveaway, once again, remember the hashtag SCG Premium, that has to be in there, right down there, yeah. So here's what you're going to want to make sure you do. Because this Gen Con badge giveaway is such a special prize, please do not try to win the Gen Con badge if you are not interested in going to Gen Con.
I agree. Don't make us waste a Gen Con badge.
Don't rob that from some happy person out there.
If you want to, win it and then give it to me. I'll take it.
So, the question that I'm going to throw out to everybody is pretty simple. Both of these lists, they come from slightly different places and ended up nearly the same. What white spell is Brian Eason playing that Gerry Thompson is not playing? What white spell is Brian Eason playing in his main deck?
Sometimes illegally.
Sometimes illegally.
Just once.
That Gerry Thompson is not playing. If you tweet your answer to hashtag SCG Premium, one lucky person amongst those who get the right answer will get a Gen Con badge and be able to attend Gen Con for free. Now, remember, great prize. So if you can't go, don't just rip up the $100 bill for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I will not be a happy camper.
back to Gerry and Brian. We already know that Brian has been bringing in timely reinforcements in this match.
It might be a play-draw thing.
Yeah, that's true.
We saw him play it on the draw.
This is true.
I've been known to do that. Side and timely's on the draw. If I have a particular version that is not impressive against Geist of St. Trapped in particular. You've seen. I would imagine that Brian knows that he saw a Consecrated Sphinx.
Yep.
From.
That's a communique to keep the leaks around.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not all 4. That's the thing about Devil. A lot of times you get a card that's good to draw 1 of, but not 2 of.
I mean, I wouldn't mind 3 or 2 leaks.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about Vapor Snag.
Yeah.
It's not a card you can draw 3 of and be really happy about.
Yeah.
And if these games go long and yeah.
One of the things that I see about these Delver lists, we were talking before yesterday about Gerry's list having 3 Gitaxian Probe and 2 Thought Scour to join the 4 Ponder as the cantrips in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And just the questions of why you run certain numbers or not. And, why not, if Thought Scour is important, why not 4 Thought Scour, 1 Probe? Why not 4 Probe, 1 Thought Scour? Why not more of one? Maybe 10
Why not more?
cantrips?
Why not 4 of the better one?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Quote unquote better one.
Right. Now, this kind of starts floating towards an old Mike Flores and perhaps Randy Bueller theory about the best decks are 4-in-1 decks, which I feel like I roundly disproved a long time ago. But that's like one of those concepts that still hangs on a little bit.
I don't. In modern deck building, I don't think you see a lot more 2s.
Yes.
In decks that you used to see. There's a modern concept that's like and correct, I believe. Is like you don't want to draw 2 of this card.
Yes, I totally agree, and like that's one of the things that is I think a classic reason. We got Delver in play for Brian Eason. Like the whole idea, to my mind, of someone holding on to numbers as sacred cows is kind of messed up to me. Whereas the idea of this, how often do I want to see this happen in the course of a match?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, when we're talking about maybe we want 3 leaks because we don't want to draw it too much.
Right.
Like you still want the leaks.
You can probably get use out of 1.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2. But very rarely like a million.
When we saw that match there, or that last game there, at the end of the game, Brian Eason was playing fairly expensive spells, and he had leak protection going into it. A leak would have been practically dead. I mean, one of the things that made me frustrated with Zach Hill's article about Cavern of Souls, I would have loved the article if it had said, we think that counter spells are not as much fun and we want them not to be as good. But because he said Mana Leak is too good, that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
It was just, I felt it was kind of insulting.
It was very insulting.
Yeah. I mean, the control decks were not running it hardly at all. They were down to 2 copies usually.
Like.
And then like.
I just think it was very misplaced. One thing I've talked about with some of my friends that work for WotC or are about to work for WotC is the concept of Wizards of the Coast employees being allowed to play in non-Pro Tour feeding events. So Wizards employees can play Magic. They should be able to like play
in an FNM
just to keep their juices full. Because anybody who's played a bunch of Magic knows that Mana Leak is not oppressive.
Yes.
In fact, it's like marginally.
Yeah.
It's important in some matchups and actively bad in others.
Yeah.
And it's not format warping, not format defining. Probably not. It's not one of the 10 best cards in the format.
Absolutely not. And then the other part about it too is that Cavern of Souls doesn't just nix Mana Leak if Mana Leak's the bad guy. It nixes Dissipate.
Oh, that was Patrick Sullivan's article.
Yeah.
And that was a fantastic article. It's like all these, fun, interesting, narrow counter magic.
Yeah.
Is also
Psychic Barrier. Sorry, Psychic Barrier.
Yeah, you're actual unplayable.
And I mean, I saw decks maining Psychic Barrier very occasionally. Andrew Cuneo had 1 Psychic Barrier.
Yeah, I'm a big Psychic Barrier fan.
Yeah, I was running Psychic Barrier in one of my decks.
I had it
in
some of the versions of my when Phantasmal Bear was still a Magic card.
Flash freeze.
Yeah, big flash freeze fan. It seems like we got some sort of hold up here.
Yep. That's why I keep talking about Cavernous Souls and counter magic.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel like what I really want to have happen when Wizards of the Coast makes an announcement is I want their announcement to be credible.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
I want them to say, we feel that counter spells are not fun for people that play creatures, so we don't want them to be doing it very much. And you know what? I would grumble a little bit, but I'd be like, okay, you've stated your position, and your conclusion makes sense.
Yeah, and like, it's a reasonable thing. Say they wanted to say they wanted to host Snapcaster Mage instead somehow.
Right.
By the way, nearly impossible to do, but... Alright, so we back in action. Gerry Thompson has a Glacial Fortress, and Brian Eason has a naturally flipped Delver via Gitaxian Probe, which he's going to cast. And Gerry flings his hand over, shows him the goods. Looks like the 2 Divine Offering, a Ponder, a Ratchet Bomb, and 3 lands, including a Moorland Haunt. So not a fantastic hand from Gerry.
In for 3.
Gerry to 17 quickly. Brian, even though he already has a flip Delver, wants to Ponder. Yeah, back to the Cavern of Soul things. Of the cards I find oppressive in Standard, I mean, I can think of a lot of other cards you want to hate. Like, I feel like Zealous Conscript is fantastic printing to hose, like, you know, do nothing decks that just do nothing but Titans.
Yep.
I feel like the Cavern of Souls is oppressive, Titans are oppressive, and obviously not getting reprinted.
Titans are very oppressive. That's an oppressive card.
Right.
I mean,
and then they go and print the cards that's like, oh, Mana Leak's not fun. Actually, Mana Leak just helps keep these overpowered Titans in check.
Ratchet Bomb from Gerry. We already saw that this is one of his. He's like blow it up.
I think he blew it up on the upkeep.
Upkeep to make the
Vapor Snag.
Yep, Vapor Snag.
Kill half the Vapor Snag tax.
There's another Delver.
And fortunately for Gerry, not a Geist of Saint-Traft. I think Geist of Saint-Traft from Brian would have been close to game over.
Ratchet Bomb, one of the best weapons against Delvers.
Against the card Delver of Secrets.
Yes.
Not against the deck.
Yeah. Against the card Delver.
Yeah. We got Dismember, Sword of War and Peace, Restoration Angel, and a Gitaxian Probe in Brian's hand. So the Sword of War and Peace is basically a dead card. However, Gerry is going to have 2 dead cards of his own. So basically what's going to happen is both Brian and Gerry are going to keep their cards in their hand, but neither one of them are going to play. The only difference might be if Brian can get in like 5 extra damage while Gerry's tapped down. Gerry going to the tank, getting a Ponder here. Taking quite a while on this. He's going to keep him.
It's a Delver.
Play the Delver off the top of his deck.
Or is it a...
It's a Seachrome Coast.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why it's tapped.
Because he had to play it for mana.
There it is. Okay.
He did.
It was just out of order. He put the creature down, then laid the land afterwards. Got it.
He did Probe for mana, Ponder, and then Delver this turn.
Vapor Snag is revealed.
Good play by Brian, setting up the Ponder so the bottom card would flip Delver.
Probe.
For
Tissy Tossy.
Again, I believe he has the same hand. He's added a Delver of Secrets. Surprised Gerry's playing with the checklist cards with dark color sleeves.
Some people like the checklist cards.
Okay, interesting.
I don't, but I mean...
Have you seen the Klug Ultra checklist card? It's fantastic.
Oh, what do they look like?
Oh man, I forget, but it was really funny. If you go to klugalters.com, Eric Klug is probably the world's foremost card alterer and newly married. Yeah.
That's nice.
Right? You can go to klugalters.blogspot.com to find his
and then search for checklist.
Yeah. Take a look at his work. So Delver number 2 from Gerry, no flipping on the first one. And then that is matched by not matched, but trumped by a Restoration Angel from Brian. Not blinking anything, but still a 3/4 Flying Flash. Pretty impressive card. Alright, Gerry gets back in the game. He's down to 8 life, facing 6 power. But he flips both of his Delvers with a Ponder, which is going to be cast, I would imagine. Not yet. I'm looking for a Phantasmal Image, likely copying Restoration Angel. This is one of those interesting games where
I see a gut shot to take care of the image.
And
Vapor Snag to take care of one of the Delvers.
Okay. Yeah, not that it mattered. I believe we're being told that the Phantasmal Image copied a Insectile Aberration.
And then we see a Spirit Maid at the end of the turn with a Moorland Haunt. And then a Dismember. Oh, boy.
That would be 3 removal spells on 1 turn from Brian Eason.
Wow.
So I thought this was going to be one of those grindy Moorland Haunt games.
Nope.
Where everything's going to trade out. I was wrong. So 1 game for all the marbles. Well, not all of them, but most of them.
But a few marbles in this game.
Yeah.
They go to their sideboard once again.
And I think if we've learned one thing, we know what the Roanoke crew likes to side in the mirror. They like their Consecrated Sphinx. They like their images. They like to have they like their Master components and the Ratchet Bombs. So a lot of cards come in. Have you seen a Restoration Angel? I'm trying to figure out what they side out. Like I feel like numbers are down on.
I don't remember if I've seen them have one.
Yeah, because you think they're bringing in a ton of cards. They're bringing 3 Image, 1 Divine Offering, 2 Consecrated Sphinx, 1 Master Components.
That's 7
2 Ratchet
cards.
Bombs.
That's 9 cards.
So where are these coming from?
And I think they're bringing in Metamorph.
Yeah,
it's 10 cards.
Up to 10. And they might not be bringing all 10. They might, like 1 Sphinx, I could imagine, or 1 Ratchet Bomb.
Well, let's pretend that they're looking at their opponent and they don't see a Consecrated Sphinx, right? They've got deck lists.
Yeah.
Do they just board out all 4 leaks?
I've seen Mana Leak from Gerry, and we saw it in his top 4 match.
Okay.
So they've got at least 1 leak. That's the thing. It might be one of those things where they want just enough to know for the opponent to play around it.
Yeah, maybe they shave.
I haven't seen Restoration Angel.
Okay, maybe they shave a Probe down.
I also haven't seen Sword of Feast and Famine from Gerry in any pro sideboard game.
I don't think I've seen a sword from them either.
Yeah. Blank their opponent. So I think that's a really risky play. It's more understandable with Feast and Famine because it doesn't offer a relevant protection other than Dismember protection.
Which would have been actually a big deal for Josh when he had a sword out when his opponent was tapped out and Eason dismembered for the kill.
However, You dismember in response to any.
But he was tapped out.
Okay.
He was tapped out. He was completely tapped out when he did it.
Also, Josh's were War and Pieces. But
oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah.
So
but for Gerry,
it didn't matter then.
Yeah, but for Josh, he wants Sword of War and Peace in your deck. Sword of War and Peace seems like.
Yeah, it's a different sword.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I thought he had the Feast and Famine.
Some of them have Feast. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their difference.
Yeah. Half of them have one, half have the other.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been a big Feast and Famine fan, just as a card. I feel that it's a stronger card in general. However, if we got a clear deck, you're going to have to warp your deck to play cards that are good in the mirror.
Right.
And you might have to lean War and Peace going forward. The other option is to play a split like Brian Eason has. He has 2 Sword of War and Peace, 1 Feast and Famine. I don't like that given only 15 creatures. I think 3 equipment.
It's a lot
for
of equipment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 5 mana to get the equipment on somebody.
Right, and if you draw multiple equipment, you need to have a bunch of creatures to be able to jam. Looks like Gerry's down to 6 while Brian's ready to go with the 7 cards. One thing I've always admired about Gerry is his willingness to mulligan very low to find hands that do stuff. He does not care about mulliganing to 5. Whereas I don't really care per se, but I feel I can win on 5 cards, whereas Gerry is very comfortable doing it.
It's a skill that you really have to develop.
I mean, I know I under-mulligan, but it's intentional.
Ponder, Snapcaster, Vapor Snag, Dismember, Gut Shot, Moreland Haunt? Okay.
Yeah. So reasonable hand, not super exciting from Brian. That land would have been much better as an island or a Seachrome Coast. But I think Gerry kept a relatively slow hand, or at least he kept a slow ponder. His ponder looked like more ponders and probes. So Gerry does his best Silvergill Adept impersonation. Big fan of Silvergill Adept.
Good card.
Fantastic card.
Right?
Brian Eason have a mana leak?
I didn't see one. Did he draw one?
I mean,
I think we had the hand pretty well locked down.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 1 turn ago, so maybe he drew one.
He has one card to draw. So Gerry knows this. If I were Brian, I would have pondered anyway. And he might have to ponder here to find another land. It definitely can't say go. And if I were Gerry, I would mana leak if he could, but it does not appear that he is either unable or unwilling to. Brian shuffling. Almost assuredly in search of a 3rd land. See if we find a 3rd land, and we did.
There we
Gerry
go.
Thompson.
A little bit of Moreland action.
Also, one thing I've noticed about myself, I absolutely play the double decks stylistically different than a lot of people. So there is the mana leak that we sniffed out. Looks like we picked up a Vapor Snag, a Sword. Still have the Dismember. But I love Moreland Haunting my way to victory.
You like to make a counterpost kind of game happen.
Yes. I like to go I like to play creatures to have them die.
Right.
That's why I'm not a big fan of equipment in Delver, unless it's going on an Invisible Stalker.
Gotcha.
Oh, interesting play from Brian. He's a little light on mana, lots of cards in hand, so he's gonna take his opportunity not to waste 2 mana. Get a Snapcaster into play, flashback the Gut Shot, do a little work.
We see the Restoration Angel coming down.
Almost assuredly mana leaked. Dismembered instead. So killed one way or the other. A pretty strong play from Brian or whatever, being able to trade 1 of his mana for 4 of Gerry's mana.
Yep. And he's still got that 2 mana open, so that should he have a leak, or should
Brian has a leak.
But yeah, like should he have a leak, he can still do stuff.
Yes.
As you say, he has it.
He has it. Should he need to?
Yeah. That's.
Gerry weighing his options. He knows he's 100%. He's seen it. Although I'm pretty sure Gerry would know to play around a potential mana leak here. Those I believe it's 14 life each way. Brian just played it. Dismember. So Gerry deep in the tank.
Yeah. You can see his Kibler-like hands moving.
That's
the shadow.
The shadow of Gerry T.
Yep.
Looms over this match.
Oh, there they come.
Oh, man. Real
Sliding
hands.
into the frame just briefly.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are about 10 minutes remaining to sign up for today's Legacy Open. 10 minutes remaining. Sign up for today's
I would consider giving Gerry a slow play warning at this point. This is
It's a long time.
yeah, this is a long time. Or at least asking him to do something. You know, you'll hear from the judges at any tournament. Top 8 is untimed, but you gotta still
play.
be reasonable. And if I were Brian, actually, I have no problem asking Gerry to do something here.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. There's a reason they're paused. Seems to be a delay somewhere.
Yeah,
And
because
they've asked the players to stop. That is why Gerry's not doing anything.
Yeah, because of our lack of a direct connection that we briefly had to the judge at the table, the judge at the table stopped the game so that we could still be in sync with them.
We will await our reconnection shortly. This is quite the interesting game 3. Nobody seems to have like much of an advantage.
Yep.
Not gonna lie, if I were playing right now, I would hate to be in this situation. It's like I just wanna, you get in your, game mode. Like I have a game mode and a non-game mode.
Yep.
Like, I just hate like having to switch between the two.
Yep.
There's no way these guys could stay like, focused and ready to play, and not play.
Yeah.
And that's part of what makes Magic so exhausting. Like you put yourself into like game mode, and you can't stay there 24/7.
No, it's
Because Magic's too exhausting.
It's too tiring.
It's hard to do for 10 rounds, or now these guys are on 13 rounds.
I bet that Brian is actually perhaps better at that because he's just simply younger. I know, talking with Patrick Chapin, Patrick says that he likes to make sure that in any particular game of Magic, he only makes 3 decisions, because over the course of a tournament, if he's doing well, he will not be able to keep up if he has to make more decisions than that.
So he shortcuts everything?
He shortcuts everything else.
Wow.
He just works on muscle memory, so to speak.
Right, like you hear athletes talk about that a lot. Like, they can't tell you how they shoot a basketball. They just know they've just done so many reps that is done. That's an interesting way to do it. I know people have autopilots.
Yeah.
I try not to autopilot. I know I play very sloppy when I do.
Yeah, me too. I gaff a lot then.
Yeah. And I don't mind, like, when I'm playing in a low stakes tournament or like a cube match or something like that. I don't mind autopiloting. Then you just enjoy the game. But when you're there to win, like, for me, like, I don't think I can autopilot. Instead, what I do, like, I know it's definitely easier when you're younger.
Oh yeah.
That's why you see so many of the top players in the game, like, are younger.
Absolutely. I mean, Patrick, he's not going on autopilot for most of those matches, according to him, because he just isn't capable of thinking about all of the choices. It's just that over time he's going to be too tired.
You get diminishing returns on exerting the mental energy it takes to focus on everything on Magic. Like, that's why, and Patrick, toots this one the most or whatever, saying, don't try and your mental game isn't important.
There we go. Back to the game at hand.
Back.
Now, Gerry Thompson, a classic player of the last many years, he is a bit older than his opponents, so I would be willing to bet that it's more taxing for him to try to keep his mental energy up. I mean, when I was 19 and playing Magic, I could stay up all night, not sleep, and be ready to compete with no problem.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely learned over the years that, like, when you say, like, get a good night's sleep, get a breakfast, or whatever, like, that's canned advice, but
it's real.
it's real advice. But just, like, take care of yourself.
Yeah. Timely reinforcements. Is that for no life?
I believe it is for no life. Okay, it was for life.
That's pretty devastating.
Off. Yeah, we're a little off. Okay. And apparently we had incorrect life totals for a little bit. The current ones are correct, however. All right, here comes our first Geist of St. Traft. And Ratchet Bomb. Wow.
Boom.
That's an impressive Ratchet Bomb from Gerry.
Look at that, the Geist, ready to go. Nothing can stop him now.
Well, nothing except himself.
Yes.
Geist of St. Traft can only stop Geist of St. Traft.
The Geist never seems very good walking into the jungle, though, either. Just all those kinds of monsters in the jungle.
Yeah. Other thing, who's St. Traft?
I don't know.
We have his ghost or whatever. Like, if this is his ghost, imagine what the real St. Traft was. That'd be sweet. So no flip for Gerry on his Delver.
Apparently, according to Wizards of the Coast, Traft was a young priest in the Church of Avacyn who was strong and valiant and vanquished all manner of evil creatures.
I wouldn't exactly consider Brian Eason an evil creature.
Yeah.
But,
he specialized in fighting demons.
Brian Eason does not look like a demon to me. But Gerry is going to looking to vanquish Brian with a Geist of St. Traft nonetheless. All right. Yeah, it's amazing to me, like, how I've actually never played 4 Geists of St. Trafts in the same deck, in a deck. I've always, like, been one to play, like,
2,
yeah, 3.
Couching for the Legend rule.
Yeah. But after this tournament, well, also the other thing is, like, when people played Lingering Souls and Intangible Virtue and stuff like that, Geist of St. Traft could get, you know, lost in the jungle, as you said.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got Leak, Sword, Snag. Do we have a Phantasm? Oh, man.
Geist your Geist. Leak it.
And not quite, but Gerry going to push Brian to the edge with this attack. The old defensive Vapor Snag for amass the components.
They are amassed.
Gerry would like some components.
So let's pretend that we have a line of play here. The coast is cleared, Gerry amasses. His opponent, having the coast clear, does something nearly tapping out of his own. Gerry might just have Sphinx then on the comeback.
I don't think it'll get to that point. Gerry Thompson is attacking Brian to 6 for sure.
Right.
And 2 if Brian does not use his Vapor Snag on the Geist of St. Traft. So Brian's gotta beat Geist of St. Traft first.
Right, on the angel that comes out of the Geist. Here come the friends.
Alright, so Brian Eason to 4 life or 6 life. Gerry to 9. But Gerry's still absolutely in the driver's seat.
Image on the Snapcaster.
Wow, it's aggressive, but I like it. Not much else for Gerry to
untap. Wow.
Yeah, I think Brian's conceding here.
I mean, I think he has to have a Snapcaster, Vapor Snag, maybe a second Snapcaster.
I feel he has a snag in his hand, and I believe his hand's Snag, Mana Leak, Sword of War and Peace.
He can make a token.
He's gonna snag the Angel, War and Peace, or snag maybe the Image, and then War and Peace.
A pre-combat Ponder just to get some juice. That looks like a Dismember.
Yeah, a Dismember, a Ponder, and an unknown card that Gerry drew, so it's probably better than those.
Here comes everybody.
So I feel like this game and this tournament is about to end.
Kills the Phantasmal Image. Makes a 1/1 Spirit.
So he drew the
Dismember.
Dismember.
Spirit and scoop. Gerry Thompson.
I feel like he's done this before.
I think so.